everyone, and I'm Kiran Rajshekhar. I'm from GIZ. I work as a senior advisor in a project called the Sustainable Urban Development of Smart Cities. Unfortunately, I don't have a PowerPoint presentation, but I'm more than happy to sort of connect myself to uh, the data and the technology discussions that we are a part of here. We are as GIZ, we are a bilateral agency funded by the the government of Germany, the Department of Economic Affairs and Development. And in this program, we work in the three smart cities and the three states of Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and Odisha, and in the three smart cities of Bhubaneswar, Kochi, and Coimbatore. Now, the reason why I'm just giving a background to the project on where we connect ourselves to the data. In this project, we work on three main verticals. One where we look at basic services and infrastructure, where we largely look at wastewater, water supply, solid waste management, and so forth. All the utilities that are connected with the functioning of the city. Now, another program is on the housing and planning, where we really look at affordable housing planning, how the urban planning can be done and so forth. Now, there is a new program that we are embarking on, which I'm a part of, which is a group that I lead, which is on SDG and governance, where much of the emphasis on looking at the sustainable development goals of the UN, and then what sort of an urban governance framework really fits to have the urban data really speak for how we are connecting and performing with the SDGs, particularly the ones that are related to the cities. More so focusing on SDG 11, which is very exclusively looking at cities, but also looking at SDG 6, 7, and so forth, which relates to water, energy, and climate change, and so on and so forth. Of course, on the data part per se, we have a new project where we are we're working with the European Space Agency and MOSPI, the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, where we are trying to connect the attribute data for the cities with the geospatial data in terms of looking at the density function of cities, how the cities are really performing in terms of the density, tracking their green areas in terms of what % of the city's spatial spread is actually green, and looking at air pollution. These are the three parameters which very closely related to SDG 11 is what we are focusing on. And now we clearly see that data in cities we are really struggling with, because the cities don't really have point source data for many of the information that we're actually looking at. Therefore, as partners, we're also working with MOA, which is the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, where we are working with their housing division in developing a framework, a project framework where a data framework where we are trying to plow through the different statistical data that are already available at cities, and also the data frameworks that are existing where data are collected by multiple agencies and multiple ministries and departments, but they don't really talk to each other. So we are trying to develop a robust framework where if this framework can actually capture all the data, and then we can actually inform how the city is actually localizing its SDG performance, and then connect itself to the global SDG commitments that India has made itself to. Apart from that, we also work with Niti Aayog very closely, where we are looking at the data laboratory, which is recently set up, which is of course still yet to function, and it's yet to come to the public domain, but then there is already discussion in terms of how the different data that are collected from all the 100 smart cities can be used for making informed decision making, whether it be the policy, whether it is a program, or how actually, are we really putting the right resources in the right scheme and the right program? So we really want to see how the data can inform decision making, right at the program level to the policy level, and therefore connect and tailor, targeted really targeted interventions that are needed from time to time. It also helps in building an MRV system, which is monitoring, reporting, and verification systems. So, we are trying to really, in other words, we're trying to look at how the attribute data that are collected from different sources can actually be linked spatially with urban as a domain. Yeah, so this is in brief where, of course, multiple things I'm sure we will hear from others also on the quality of data, the timing of the data, and what's the frequency at which we are able to collect the data, how real time it is. very often we see at the city level, we don't really get real-time data. We're really struggling with at the moment, but then I'm sure we will get there in time. This is a project which will be there for another 3 years, and I'm very hopeful that by the next 3 years we would have made some impact in terms of where GIZ really want to look at data and impress upon how data can be used for decision making at the city level.